a sudden roar echoed between the trees, shaking the ground like thunder. And right there, in the middle of that danger, a baboon clung to a low branch, trembling. But not from fear of a predator chasing him. Rather, from the one sitting right beside him. A leopard. This unexpected duo was a sight to behold. The leopard, a majestic beauty with a coat like burnished gold and eyes like shining emeralds, exuded an air of untamed power. The baboon, on the other hand, was a picture of nervous energy, his hands gripping the branch so tightly his knuckles had turned white. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the leopard rose gracefully, stretching her lithe muscles before disappearing into the thick foliage. Our baboon watcher waited patiently, hoping for a glimpse of her elusive companion. Meanwhile, deep in the heart of the jungle, the leopard had found her favorite hunting spot, a secluded clearing bathed in the silvery glow of the rising moon. Her amber eyes, keen and focused, scanned the area for movement. Suddenly, a rustle in the underbrush caught her attention. She crouched low, her powerful muscles coiling like springs, ready to launch. With a graceful leap, she was on the prowl. In the dense undergrowth, a small rodent scurried, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. The leopard was upon him in a flash, her sharp claws extended, her teeth bared in a silent snarl. The rodent stood no chance. The leopard was swift and precise, her movements fluid and efficient. In seconds, the hunt was over. She had claimed her prize. Back at the baboon's lookout point, our baboon watcher was growing restless. Where had the leopard gone? Had she returned to the safety of her den, or was she out hunting again? Just when his patience was about to snap, he saw her emerge from the trees. She was followed by an entourage of adoring fans. As the leopard approached, she carried herself with an air of quiet confidence. Her every step exuded power and grace. It was clear that she was the undisputed queen of the jungle, feared and respected by all who encountered her. And today, she had brought a special treat back to her home, a freshly killed zebra. The leopard dropped the carcass at her den, signaling to her cubs that it was time to eat. As the cubs feasted, the leopard kept a watchful eye on her surroundings, ever vigilant for any signs of danger. Meanwhile, the baboons were watching intently from a distance. They had never seen a leopard bring prey back to her cubs. It was fascinating to see the raw power and maternal instinct of the jungle's most fearsome predator. But as the night wore on, something unusual happened. One of the leopard's cubs ventured away from the den, drawn by the scent of something delicious. He stumbled upon the baboon watcher, who was hiding in a tree. The cub had never seen a baboon before, and he couldn't help but feel a surge of curiosity. The baboon watcher was frozen with fear, unsure of what to do. But the leopard cub didn't attack. Instead, he sat down a few feet away and started grooming himself. For a moment, the two animals simply stared at each other. The leopard cub blinked slowly, as if sizing up the baboon watcher. Then he got up and ambled away, disappearing into the tall grasses. The baboon watcher remained perched in the tree, his heart pounding in his chest. What had the leopard cub been thinking? Would he come back with his mother? Could he really risk staying here any longer? As these thoughts raced through his mind, the baboon watcher knew he had to make a decision. Should he flee and risk encountering another predator, or should he stay put and hope for the best? In the end, he decided to stick it out. And as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, he saw the leopard returning from the hunt with a fresh kill in her mouth. She dropped the carcass near her den and called to her cubs, who came bounding out of their hiding places. As the family feasted, the baboon watcher watched from a safe distance. He couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration for the leopards. They were strong, intelligent, and resourceful, and despite their ferocious reputation, they were also caring and protective of their young. Days turned into weeks, and the baboon watcher continued to observe the leopards from afar. He learned their habits, their routines, and even the names of their cubs. There was Luna, the curious one, always exploring new areas and testing her limits. Then there was Leo, the brave one, who wasn't afraid to stand up to his siblings or their mother. And finally, there was Shadow, the shy one, who preferred to stay close to his mother, always watching, always learning. As the months passed, the leopard's cubs grew bigger and stronger. They were almost too big for their mother's den, and it was clear that they were getting ready to strike out on their own. One day, the leopard took her cubs out for a final lesson in hunting. She showed them how to stalk their prey, how to pounce, and how to hold their own in a fight. The cubs were eager to learn, and they put their skills to the test immediately. Meanwhile, the baboon watcher was feeling a bit lonely. He hadn't seen the leopards in a while, and he missed their playful antics. He had grown fond of the cubs, and he couldn't help but worry about them as they embarked on their new adventures. Just when he was feeling the most blue, he heard a familiar sound, the crashing of branches and the excited squeals of leopard cubs. He looked up and saw the three of them bounding through the trees. They were playing a game, a mock battle that involved chasing, wrestling, and lots of roaring. As the baboon watcher watched, a smile spread across his face. The leopards were doing well. They were happy and healthy, and they were ready to take on the world. From that day forward, the baboon watcher knew that he would never forget the leopards. He had witnessed their strength, their intelligence, and their spirit. And he had learned that even the most fearsome predators could be gentle and nurturing parents. And so, as the years passed, the baboon watcher continued to share their story with the other animals in the jungle, reminding them that sometimes the most unlikely friendships can be the strongest of all. Deep in the heart of the jungle, surrounded by the lush greenery and the sound of exotic birds, lived a troop of baboons. Among them was a curious and adventurous baboon named Bobo. Bobo was known for his inquisitive nature and his daring spirit. He was always exploring new parts of the jungle and looking for exciting things to discover. One day, while Bobo was venturing into a remote part of the jungle, he stumbled upon a clearing, and in the middle of the clearing was a magnificent leopard. The leopard was lounging on a rock, her sleek and muscular body basking in the warm sunlight. Her eyes were closed, and she seemed completely relaxed and at ease. Bobo was mesmerized by the leopard's beauty and grace. He had never seen anything like her before, and he couldn't help but admire her elegance and power. As Bobo stood there watching the leopard, he felt a sense of awe and wonder. He had never realized that such a beautiful and fierce creature existed in the jungle. Suddenly, the leopard opened her eyes and spotted Bobo staring at her. She narrowed her eyes and let out a low growl, warning him to stay away. Bobo was startled by the leopard's sudden movement, and he quickly tried to hide behind a tree. But the leopard was quick and agile, and she was on top of Bobo in a matter of seconds. She pinned him down with her powerful paws and bared her sharp teeth. Bobo was terrified, but he managed to hold his ground. He stared back at the leopard defiantly, trying to look as big and intimidating as possible. To his surprise, the leopard didn't attack. Instead, she let out a soft purr and nuzzled her head against his. Bobo was confused, but he couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. The leopard wasn't going to hurt him. As the days went by, Bobo and the leopard became unlikely friends. They spent their days playing and hunting together, and their nights sleeping side by side. Bobo learned that the leopard's name was Layla, and he discovered that she was the fiercest and most skilled hunter in the jungle. Leela, on the other hand, learned that Bobo was one of the most intelligent and curious baboons in the troop. Together, they were an unstoppable force, and they ruled the jungle with their combined strength and cunning. One day, Bobo and Leela were playing in the clearing, when a group of male baboons approached them. The baboons were angry, and they accused Bobo of betraying his troop by befriending a leopard. They threatened to kick Bobo out of the troop if he didn't break his friendship with Leela. Bobo was torn. He didn't want to lose his friends, but he couldn't bear the thought of parting ways with Leela. Seeing his distress, Leela let out a loud roar and scared the baboons away. From that day on, Bobo and Leela's friendship only grew stronger. They proved to the rest of the troop that loyalty and trust were more important than prejudice and fear. And so, the unlikely pair continued to rule the jungle, showing everyone that friendship can blossom in the most unexpected places.